Welcome back today. I just wanted to do a quick video on my reaction to the Model S and X refresh for Tesla. Some exciting times, exciting updates. I wanted to go through those as well as talk about a few other things on Tesla regarding their earnings. So let's get to it. So as you know, Tesla had their earnings call this week. They announced their Q4 earnings and they were pretty amazing, record-breaking revenue and all that. Of course, the stock went down because there were some margin changes that looked a little bit down, but they were explained in the earnings call. I won't go into depth on any of those things because definitely I would recommend that you check out channels such as Hyperchange or Tesla Daily with Rob Maurer. Definitely some good information there that you can check out what the actual details are on the earnings and why we should definitely consider it a record quarter as it was, as well as look towards the future for more positive earnings and be expecting that Q1 will show those margins better in Q1 versus Q4. So again, I won't get into details of those because I'm definitely out of my depth in that, but there's some good resources out there with Gally at Hyperchange and Rob at Tesla Daily. So definitely go check those out. So today I wanted to go over the Tesla Model S and X refresh. A lot of exciting updates to these cars that have been sitting there for a long time. Everybody's been anticipating a big refresh to these vehicles and they've just been sitting there without much going on. But during the shareholder letter, as well as the earnings call, they did talk about the refresh and exciting updates. Definitely, it sounds like Tesla is going to make some more announcements, more details about these new cars as they get closer to launch. The new S is going to come out in March or be delivered in March, and the new X is going to be delivered in April. So they're coming soon, but there are definitely some big questions. So let's go look at the cars. Let's look at the design studio and see what they look like. And hey, real quick guys, if you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. It helps others find it, and as well as subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, get notified. So I was planning on doing this on the Tesla screen, but however, I found out that it was very slow to load. Go to custom order here, and basically it finally loads, and it really only partially loads the page. Doesn't look anything like it should. So we're going to go through it over here on my iPad instead. Going to custom order for the Model S. All right, so you see that we have the Model S. It has a new price. It has decreased by negative $10,000 starting price. Yeah, okay. It increased $10,000 starting price. It used to be $69,420. That was really a pretty good price considering it did lower about 10 grand from previous price of $79,990, and so they had lowered it to that price, but now it's back up to $79,990 starting at 412 miles range for the long range. And now they have the Plaid as well as Plaid Plus. So the Plaid Plus is what they originally announced as the Plaid model, and now the Plaid model here you can see is only 390 miles, which is not what they had originally announced. But look at that, 200 miles per hour top speed, 1.99 seconds 0 to 60. That is crazy fast. So definitely pretty amazing stuff there that they got with the tri-motor all-wheel drive Plaid. So that's part of what they announced, but they also announced that it was going to be over 520 miles range. The Plaid Plus, which is not coming out until late this year, again, that probably has the 4680 cells, and it is going to have over 520 miles of range. So you see that's the difference there. It's going to be a little bit quicker, 0 to 60 time, as well as it's going to have over 520 miles of range. Again, that is due to those improvements that they will have with the 4680 cells, the new battery pack. For the Plaid and the long range, they still have what is the current battery cells, the 18650s. And so let's just look here at the Model S here. You can see that it's actually updated a little bit styling, just very, very subtle differences, not nearly the big refresh that people were talking about, but it does have the satin black trim instead of the chrome, so no more chrome, which is great. I don't like the chrome. I think that is kind of dated, and I do like that about our Model Y. And they've now transitioned all of these cars over to the satin black trim instead of the chrome, so that is great. Moving on down here, we do have the same paint colors you can get. Looks pretty nice in black, I think. Blue looks really good, I think, as well. I don't particularly like these wheels as much, but to upgrade to the Araknid wheels, it's $4,500. That's quite a lot to update the wheels, but I will say those wheels look pretty awesome there on that. The interior, this is where all of the updates are. I mean, totally different interior here. We've got the horizontal screen like the 3 and the Y, but in this case it is now 17 inches, so it's larger, as well as you still get the binnacle here. And the big news here is the steering wheel. Look at that steering wheel. They cut off the top, and there are no stocks, so there's no gear shifter, there's no turn signal stock or anything. It is just all on the steering wheel itself. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's actually controlled. Let's see if we can do a little bit more details here on this. So first off, they do have 3 screens. They have the front main screen, they have the binnacle screen, as well as they have a screen here in the back for the rear seat entertainment. You can do gaming on that, or you can view stuff on the back seat. Presumably that would be while you're driving, the back seat can use this screen to do whatever they want there. So that's great. And of course, this horizontal screen here for the front is going to be great for when it is full self-driving. You will have that full screen available to you while it is driving itself. That is obviously going to be in the future once the car is full self-driving. All right, so moving on to the climate control. We do have the new updated climate control in the S and the X. All these updates here to the interior are basically the same between the S and the X. So they are updated now for the climate control, split into a nice little vent there like the 3 and the Y do. You can control it through the screen. And moving on to the steering wheel, this crazy steering wheel, it says right here, the ultimate focus on driving, no stocks, no shifting. With a stockless steering yoke, you can enjoy both the best car to drive and the best car to be driven in. So they are focusing on the fact that in the future it's going to be fully self-driving, and so there's not going to be any need for those extra stocks. It's just complicating. But I've already heard from other sites such as Electric, they had a little bit of a hot take on this. Apparently Tesla is going to be using AI to determine whether you're going to be going in reverse or drive. There is obviously an override for that, and you can choose whether it's going to be in reverse or drive. Definitely going to be some controls for that, but they are integrated into the steering wheel. You can see a little bit here how it is actually, it has little buttons, force touch buttons. Again, we don't know exactly how this works, but you can see there is very faintly, maybe you can't see that on the video, but there's a button for the horn, there's a button for autopilot, there's a button for the windshield wipers, and there's a button here for the voice control. We got turn signals, and all of these light up here. So you can actually get the lights and the turn signals going here with these force press buttons. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all works and how you can actually control the shifter without there actually being a stock. I believe it is probably going to be integrated into the screen like the S and the X. Like the 3 and the Y. You know, you'll have those integrated into the screen probably here on the left, and maybe you'll be able to press those as an alternate way to shift the gears. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. They will have more details coming out, so we'll see that. Audio improvement. The big thing here is they have active noise canceling. So now the car is going to be even quieter. The S and the X were already quieter than the 3 and the Y, but now they are going to have active noise canceling to reduce that road noise, the wind noise outside, because obviously there's no engine noise that they need to cancel out, but there is still wind noise when you're going, 70 miles per hour on the interstate. Obviously, you're going to have that. They have the all-glass roof. That is no different than what it was before, but it is nice. Just kind of like the Y. It just goes from the front to the back there. Awesome panoramic glass roof there. And then, of course, you have some other features that are going to be awesome. The heated seats for every passenger, the heated steering wheel and windshield. We've got the ventilated front seats. So that is a feature that they brought back. Previously in the Performance Model S and X, they had ventilated seats available, but they took that away for a while. Now the ventilated seats are back, so that's going to be a great addition. Added bonuses here, such as the phone key. So the phone key they added from the 3 and Y, they added the ability to have the phone key in the S and the X. So that'll be a great addition. I'm sure they will still have a key fob available if you would like that. Most of the other stuff here, the same as it has been in the past. Integrated internet browser, of course, which, again, here it is. Still hasn't really loaded on my car. So hopefully that is a little bit faster on that. I'm not really sure why it's so slow. Definitely on Wi-Fi it should be a lot quicker. And it's on the same internet connection here as we are on the iPad. So pretty crazy that it's taking that long. Anyway, those are the interior features. Just a nice, slick, cleaner look, and a lot of differences here in the door. You can see that there's a nice pocket there in the door. There's also the button to get out of the door is just like the 3 and the Y, where there's just a button here on the side rather than a big lever. So a lot of things that they've learned to trim down. The center console, very similar here to what you see in the 3 and the Y, except for it just is accented here with a nice wood trim. And if you get in the different interior colors here, so I actually don't like this wood trim here for the white interior. Unfortunately, I think very much it's better here where it's a little bit darker and it's a little bit more muted. I don't really like this. I wish they had the option for the carbon fiber, but I actually believe that it is carbon fiber here. If you go into, if you go into the Plaid interior, yes. So if you go into the Plaid Model S with the interior, it is actually carbon fiber instead of the wood trim. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the carbon fiber, but I do like it better than the light trim that it has there for the regular long range Model S. So I like the dark one, okay, but I actually like the white interior. And if you switch the white interior, you get this lighter wood trim, which I don't like as much. But, no big deal. Kind of picky. And then, of course, you can add full self-driving for $10,000. So if I got the model that I wanted to get here, which I am certainly not going to be able to afford anytime soon. Actually, might as well just go for the Plaid Plus, right? If we're dreaming. Fully spec'd out, the way I would want it for the Plaid Plus is $157,990. That is crazy money. But hey, if you just wanted to get a Model S, you wanted you just want to get the standard paint color, you want to get the standard wheels, save as much money as you can, you get the black interior, you don't pay the extra for the white interior, and you got to have full self-driving. I mean, honestly, you should really have full self-driving at this point. $89,990, so it is just over that, another $10,000 because of that full self-driving over the base price, but 412 miles, great range. Now let's go back over to the Model X. They did update the Model X as well. Again, the Model X has very similar interior updates to the Model S. But the big difference here is it used to be 371 miles. Now it's 360 miles. So I don't really understand why the range went down the Model X. That's kind of disappointing. But it does. Let's change it to purchase price, not with potential savings. $89,990 starting price for the Model X. So it did go up in price as well. The Plaid is actually the same as the Model S, so that's interesting. It's $10,000 more for the long range, but it's the same price as the Model S for the Plaid. You do lose 20 miles of range here on the Plaid version, and there is no Plaid Plus, at least not as of yet. They have not announced that, so it would be really exciting, in my opinion, to have a future Plaid Plus Model X where it had, say, 500 miles of range and maybe a little bit faster 0 to 60 time. But again, 2.5 seconds 0 to 60 in a big SUV. It's not a small SUV. It's definitely heavy, big SUV. So that is a quick time. And 3.8 seconds. I mean, shoot, 3.8 seconds in the regular long range, not the performance model. That's faster than most sports cars. I mean, 3.8 seconds, really fast for a big SUV. Anyway, and that's just the base model. So it has, again, the same color options you have in the S, and I like these wheels actually better than the standard wheels that you get on the S. But again, these are pretty nice. $5,500 though. I actually don't like these as much as what you can get on the Model S. So if I was going to get the Model X, I think I kind of like the standard wheels, although I would actually have liked them to be in a charcoal color like this, but $5,500, no way. Plus, I'm sure, even though it doesn't state it here that you lose range, I am sure you lose a lot of range increasing the wheel from the 20-inch to the 22-inch. So that is something to consider for sure. Again, as you can see, the interior looks very similar, if not exactly the same as the Model S. Although, of course, you have this windshield here in the Model X that you don't get in the Model S. And then you have the interior layout options. You have the 5-seater, you have the 6-seater where it has a pass-through in the middle with the 2 cabin seats in the second row and the 2 seats in the back that fold down. And then you have the 7-seater that's just like the 5-seater, except you add the 2 seats that fold down in the back. The 6-seat option is $6,500, so that's a whole lot of money there for the interior option, but it is really nice. Again, you have the 3 displays just like you had in the S that we already talked about. You have the climate control that has the nice display where you can change how it is actually going. Same features for all this stuff. Honestly, this is all just exactly the same as the S. Just, again, that seating layout is the difference. And you can't actually spec this one out as high. So let's see. If I went full on, I got the Plaid. I got the paint color I wanted. I got $5,500 wheels. I went with the white interior like I wanted. Ooh, wait a second. The white interior on the X appears to have carbon fiber. Oh wait, no, that's because I was on the Plaid. Hold on, let's go back to the range, long range. Yep, okay. False alarm. I thought for a second there that we actually got the carbon fiber by default on a long range, but it's actually still that wood trim. And then I would prefer the 6-seat option, which again, $6,500. Boy, that's a lot to add, but that is what I would want. Brings us up to $145,490. Yeah, not getting that anytime soon. That is quite expensive. But again, if I was going to get the base model, standard paint, just the standard wheels, black trim, I really wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to lose my 6-seat option. That's one of the main reasons why I would want to get the Model X. But man, $6,500, that's a big improvement. But seriously, if I spec'd it out, the minimum I would come out to is, wow, $106,490. So we're not getting that anytime soon. But it's there if you want it. All right, there it is, guys. quick rundown of the Model S and X refresh. Again, the outside does not look a whole lot different, just a small bit of exterior refresh, just a little bit different curves, I guess, in the front. And then obviously you've got the chrome delete, or basically just the satin black trim instead of the chrome, which is great. I do like that, definitely. The wheels are the same as was offered previously. The interior is where all of this refresh is, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's an amazing refresh on the interior, exactly what I think everybody is going to really like. Now, the steering wheel definitely leaves a lot of people polarized on that. But as far as having that horizontal screen, I think that's something that's going to be updated, that or really helps with the full self-driving and all the visualizations that's going to be on the screen, as well as the ability to watch movies and that sort of thing. You want a horizontal screen. You want that nice big screen for that. And apparently it tilts left and right. I haven't seen, again, hopefully we'll get some more details on that. But they got that, and the people that like the binnacle in the middle, right above the steering wheel, that is still a display there that is going to help a lot of people that I think were worried about losing that in the Model S and X. They're still going to have that, so that's great. Again, the steering wheel is going to be pretty polarizing, I bet, but I think it's going to be pretty awesome. We'll definitely have to see how that works out. And then you've got that back screen in the back, so you actually get more screens, and the screen is bigger and horizontal in the middle. So that's definitely, I think, a great improvement. And all of the streamlined details on the Model S and X that they brought from the Model 3 and the Y, where you don't have to worry about these little tiny vents and you don't have all these little buttons and everything. They've trimmed all that down, made it very simple, very minimalist, just like the 3 and the Y, but yet still retained that binnacle and a lot of the awesome functionality that was in the S and the X. And of course, now I can say that they truly have brought all of the highest end tech to the S and the X. It was definitely time for them to do that and stop kind of leaving them out of all of the new high-tech stuff. So what did you think? Do you think the Model S and the X refresh is a good one? I definitely think it is, and I'm really excited about maybe someday being able to own an S or X. Definitely not in the cards today with those price tags. It is pretty crazy. Definitely we want a Model X, and it looks like we wouldn't be able to get what we wanted for less than $100,000, which is crazy. I mean, you could buy a house for $100,000, so definitely more than we're willing to pay at this point for a vehicle. But hey, who knows? We will definitely keep you updated if we choose to purchase that vehicle, if it becomes possible for us to afford such a vehicle. So that's it for this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below about the refresh. And as always, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.